Yeah.
Monthly environmental sanitation, and this is 2 times a month.
Twice a month.
I think that's really huge.
7 to 10 every Saturday.
3 hours, 3 man hours lost that's about 6 hours.
A month. It's not too big.
It will sound like not too big, but then I think it will help. But it hasn't got to be something that should happen ad infinitum. That's like open-ended thing. This should happen over a period of time, and then these things don't happen elsewhere. Waste management, waste collection, whatever, everything about waste is something that should be so streamlined that it happens it just runs, because people will be in charge of it. You know when to, how to bag your waste, you know where to drop it. People don't have a time to pick it and all that. People can generally begin to clean.
But now
that it has piled up as it were, that's why I say for me, yes, at this point, I think it is only good to start it, but then give it a time frame. Because for a city like Abuja, we should be talking about modern cities. We should be comparing ourselves with what happens elsewhere.
Yeah.
So we cannot just come here, in Abuja, the very, center of it all in Nigeria, and then people will come in from the world and then see that for 3 hours in a particular day, you shut down every place. I don't know what that would mean. If it would mean the way we run it here, then I'm sure that would be terrible. Because you know what Abuja is. You have all the diplomatic missions there. You have everybody. The eye on the world is just there. It's not as if it is not here.
Community.
It's not as if it's not here. But then that is what represents Nigeria, as it were. So, and people will be asking themselves, in what other mega city in the world that people just shut down for 3 hours for doing what? Just something that they ought to be doing as part of their daily lives routine. You now shut down. Then, so what the detail is not here as to whether it will involve restriction of movement.
That's what it means.
And then it will
for
now
3
go
hours.
to shutting down businesses and everything.
I think that the essence is to create awareness. I remember those days when we used to have sanitation days in Port Harcourt, just to create that awareness so that you know that you need to clean your environment. I think that the most appropriate thing is to reintroduce the sanitation officers of old who work every day. But that's not even enough. The sanitation officers are not enough. I remember attending a waste management program, and they were talking about health officers from Ministry of Environment. And one of the issues that came out of that meeting was that these officers are not enough. They are just the same way we have not enough police. And how many people are actually there? Only few of them wear those beautiful uniforms. And they parade the streets of Port Harcourt. They get compromised from time to time. But the sanitation officers of old were dreaded. You needed to see them, and you needed to see people running, because they clamp down on you, arrest you, and the mobile court are there to try you. So if we have a proper environmental health policing with environmental courts, some of these problems will stop. We may not even need daily monthly sanitation program. But for Abuja, what Governor Wike is seeing, like you say, is a stopgap measure, and some kind of awareness program, so that people will now realize the need to clean up the city, and those who don't comply will be sent to sanitation court. That will raise awareness and galvanize the people into making the place a clean place. Abuja is also suffering from flooding.
Of course.
Serious flooding, and that's why the governor was even talking about, former governor was talking about removing some buildings that are occupying rights of ways, illegal construction of houses and all that. Well, I think people were quarreling with the way and manner he said it. But he was simply saying the obvious, because...
But the truth of the matter is that Abuja has this plan.
Yes, and the plan has to be implemented.
So if you're implementing the plan, I'm not sure so many people will have issues with that, implementing the plan.
But already it has been identified that some people had issues with that. In 2002, more than 6,000 houses were said to have been constructed illegally where they ought not to be. So it's an example of people abusing the master plan. And some of them cause flooding.
One, you see, like this sanitation thing. One thing is to say we're going to do environmental sanitation. Another thing is also to ensure that people truly engage in it. And then at the end of the day, you are able to see value for what
just as before, when we used to declare environmental sanitation days, you see children playing football.
You know, over time, it became something, I mean, people just
playing football,
lazy around,
stay
and then
indoors, it becomes another holiday.